the only one who wouldn't say everyone.
They'd be going this way.
I'm always going the wrong way, and also I could not make the first note. So on the third try, I missed it again. So Jim never, I never heard him angry. I know Frank Oz is just a lovely guy. He's very clever, not a genius puppeteer. But he would say, "Can't you get it right?" And but Jim would say, "Oh, well, I went over." He is watching the third time of playback. There were about 20 people crowding around on a television set, 12-inch screen, and playback. See, he looks over his shoulder, and there's an empty set. Nobody's standing at it. So he walked over about 12 feet through that to watch the playback. So I came up behind him, he didn't see me there. And so I missed it again. Everyone likes ice cream. And it just didn't. So I came in on the 3-1.
You heard it.
So he said, "Garbage," very softly. I barely heard him. And he
didn't know you were there.
He didn't know I was there. I said, "Oh, I'm not good enough a puppeteer to be part of the Muppets. They're so famous and wonderful." And I just and I said, "I'll resign." He said, "No." He turned beet red. He said, then he realized that I'd heard what he said, and he wouldn't say that aloud.
No.
And he would never hurt anybody's feelings. And so
he said he was talking about himself.
He said, "Oh, I'm not happy with my work today." I said, "By the way, there's a little bell. Just you'll hear a little ding, and when you hear that ding, listen to that. And you'll open the mouth. Next second, you open up the mouth, the little puppet." Yeah. And I got it. He said, so, but that was typical. I say that because I want people to know how nice and gentle and sweet and kind he was as a man. And he was just dynamic.
We have a couple more questions over here.
Yeah, let's do 2 more.
You still do the voice of the grouch?
Yes, I do. Have a rotten day. The producer who we had, this woman was a producer of Sesame Street for over 20 years, and she's the only one who we ever had more than 2 or 3 years that had changed it. I don't know why, but she was just fabulous. And so I always felt Sesame Street was one show that had no glass ceiling, because women would end up being producers and directors.
There was a woman who started Sesame Street, Joan Cooney, so yes.
So many of the sure.
Yes, and then the last question.
I got one here and one here.
Okay.
Do you have any of the props left from Sesame Street, Bill?
Any what?
Any
Any of the props?
Yeah, well, one time I walked into the Muppet Show, about Muppet building shops, and they had taken a puppet apart, and his hand was thrown in the trash. Perfect little Muppet hand. So I have that in a drawer.
We also have a wooden train set that was in Follow That Bird, that was in Big Bird's nest area that Snuffy had to watch while Big Bird got adopted by the dodo birds. So we have that, little things like that. Yeah.
We've got one last question right here.
Hi there. Oscar the Grouch, was he originally orange in the beginning, and what did his color?
I was doing my first Hollywood gig. Big Bird was asked to be on a Bob Hope special.
No, this was Flip Wilson.
Oh no, that's right.
Yeah.
That was
the first one.
But then
Flip Wilson.
Next thing I was doing, I was guest on the Flip Wilson show. It was the first time a black man ever had the total prime time hosting of a really good show. And
that was after
the first year, so Oscar was orange, and I guess when
I pulled him out of the box to get ready to rehearse his lines on the the Wilson show, I was shocked when I pulled him out of the thing because he was no longer orange, he was bright green. And I saw the guy who brought the puppets out to California, and I said, "How come it's green?" Because Jim thought it looked better green.
He's much cuter green, I think.
Yeah.
We do one more question.
This will be the final question for you, so let's make it a good one.
Okie dokie.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Spinney. Good to see you. My question is to you is, how you always say that Big Bird is not a puppet, it's an outfit that you put on.
Yeah.
So Big Bird is a puppet.
It is a puppet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but...
not a costume.
Yeah, not a costume, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
That's all right.
But my question to you is, in terms of the design of the costume, some people have said that the nods that were taken in the design of the costume were from the kaiju designs, which was the Godzilla costume, which is of the same type, so with the same way to put on. I want to ask, what was the design elements that went into Big Bird, and could you emphasize of how you got the design right?
Well, it was the first puppet that was done like Big Bird was the Detroit Dragon. The body was inhabited by Frank Oz, who has directed a lot of very, very funny and good movies since then.
Troy is the Chinese food you could buy in a can kind of thing? Yeah, it was used to be very popular in the 60s.
And the voice was Jim Henson. I'm the Detroit Dragon. And have you tried my Detroit canned chopped suey?
Sounds great.
And they were the funniest commercials you ever saw.
But he was built like Big Bird.
Yeah, he was built. And so Frank's experience with that, I think, made me get the job because he said, I absolutely will not be in a costume like that.
It didn't help that the LaChoy Dragon had a flamethrower come out of his mouth. So, it's like, I don't want to do this thing anymore. So. But it is just like that.
Had a lot of plastic, so he's very sweaty.
Yeah.
And he's 6'3". So now, one of the last times I saw him, he was directing a movie about Stepford Wives.
Yeah.
Anyway, he looked longer and taller than I ever seen him look. I said, Frank, are you getting taller? And he said, yes, I am.
He lied.
I don't think so. He just bought a really nice suit, but it was really bad. Stovepipes, legs.
Big Bird's a beautiful puppet. And
He is a puppet. He's just so used based on that. Basically, the difference between that where a head would be is there's a long hollow neck. My arm goes up his neck into the head. Yeah. So his head is up there, and the head is. This is only the beak, the bottom part of the head, and so then there's his eyes, which are rubbed on my little finger. They tried to use the index finger, but the beak is so heavy it keeps walking off your hand. So I needed the index finger, the strength it has, to keep it from falling off my hand. And so the builder was disappointed I couldn't do it because the middle finger moves further and you get more use out of it. Plus, it's very strong. And my little finger is when I took typing the typewriters were made in 1928. We had no money in our school.
You couldn't use your finger.
And so you had to use your little finger, and you had to lift with your little finger a 9-pound thing to make it a cap. If you want caps, you had to lift the whole entire thing and reveal the typing curve.
You didn't know you were practicing.
I could never do it, so I'd always have to type like this with my little finger. And I would always get to bad marks. And so I finally had to beg to be let off. So I was on the honor roll otherwise. And I had bright red D every month from typing.
Serves you well. Now you can do Big Bird.
Yeah. Well, you're heading back to your table?
Yes, we're heading back to the table.
Great, unless you have a few more, we'd love to have you...
But, if anybody else has anything? Oh, there's a question right there.
Let's just do one more.
All right, one more.
One more.
Okay, whoever.
There you go, take this. Just do one more, honest, last honest,
Okay.
honest.
We are going to go back to the table and come say hi to Carol.
Yeah, that's the
Lots
thing.
of goodies too, so come on over.
In scenes where Big Bird is talking to Oscar, like in Christmas Eve on Sesame Street, are you more likely to be Big Bird or Oscar? And do you do both of the voices talking to yourself live when you're taping?
Well, it happens on that show, I played my own characters. They weren't in the same scene.
Well, I think they are at one point.
But they are, but they shoot a different part of the room. Because they're supposed to be, what's his name? The bear.
But-
Fozzie Bear.
Oh.
His mother's house something.
No, you're not, no, not Christmas Eve on Sesame Street, not a Muppet Family Christmas. Yeah. Well,
I can answer that. On Christmas Eve on Sesame Street, if whoever had the most to say, Carol would be in that puppet and speak from that puppet. He would do the voice while somebody else did the other puppet, knowing what he was going to say from inside the other puppet. So he'd be doing both voices, but somebody else would do the other puppet at the same time.
Try to be as tricky as possible.
That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.